Hi, welcome back to Cooking with Mrs. Thompson. I'm Karen Thompson, a former food service director, dietitian, retired family and consumer science teacher, and cook. Join me as we travel the world, sampling the cuisine of the nations. Today we're heading to Italy, and we're going to make ricotta cheese. Now, growing up, I thought ricotta was this super exotic Italian cheese. Had no idea how common it was. We didn't eat a lot of Italian growing up. My mom would make lasagna rarely, but she always substituted cottage cheese for ricotta because it was so expensive. This is so economical. We had spaghetti, and that was about it. So today we're going to do something I used to do in my classes at school, and we're making cheese, and it's a lot of fun. We'll look at some of the food science aspects of it and see how easy it is to make ricotta. So stay tuned. You're going to want to come back because we're going to make a couple of really, really good recipes with the ricotta, which is something that my kids at school always did as well. So first of all, let's talk about the milk. You want to use whole milk, not skim, not low fat, whole milk, regular old whole milk, not ultra pasteurized. You need pasteurized milk. What's the difference? Ultra pasteurized won't work. When they pasteurize milk, they take milk and they heat it to 185. Nope, I'm lying. They heat the milk up to 161 degrees Fahrenheit and they hold it there for 15 seconds, and then it's rapidly cooled back to 39, which is Fahrenheit, which is refrigerator temperature. Proteins start to denature around 165. When they ultra pasteurize, they take that milk clear up to 280 degrees or and I've seen some places do it to 300. Think about it, water boils at 212. So they are taking this milk super, super high. They only do it for 2 seconds, and then they rapidly cool it back to 39 degrees. What happens when you're taking it that high, a lot of the casein denatures and it will not form a curd like you want it to. Pasteurize, people like, oh, raw milk, raw milk, raw milk. Mm-mm. Go with pasteurized. There's like only 12 states in the nation that allow the sale of raw milk. All pasteurization is heating the milk to kill bacteria. It's not altering anything. It's not genetically modified. It's simply heating to kill bacteria. So for ricotta, we want plain old whole milk. All right. Um, and we're going to use homogenized. That's kind of another little lesson I used to teach my kids. Homogenize, the process essentially is blowing the milk through a very fine screen. It's a physical process. It's not a chemical change in any way, shape, but you're blowing the milk through this fine mesh screen, and it busts up the fat globules so they stay suspended in the milk and they don't rise to the top. Please don't be afraid of pasteurized, and please don't be afraid of homogenized. It's not it's change it's physical changes. It's not chemical changes. So to get started, we're going to heat this milk up to 185 degrees. You want to use a heavy bottom pan on this. So I'm going to heat it very, very slowly, temping it to 185. Let's get started. Pour in my milk. Wow. I had bigger pots at school. Okay. And I'm going to turn this on medium low. And I'm just going to let it heat. Like I said, we're going to take it to 185 degrees. 185. We're heating. I'm up to about 97 degrees right now. You want to stir it, especially as it starts reaching that 185 mark frequently, so that you don't get that skim buildup on the bottom. We are just about up to temp. It's been bouncing 184 to 185. Let me give it one more little stir. I did start stirring constantly once it hit about 150 degrees. I'm trying to keep as much of that brown milk solid cooking on the bottom as possible. That just gently stirring it. Now, one of the ways that I've heard, if you don't have a thermometer, that you can tell when you're getting close to temp is little bubbles start forming. I realize, you can't see it in that camera, but I tell you what, bubbles started forming for me at about 150 degrees. So I don't want to do that. We're at 184.6. Just giving it a little stir. All right, 185. I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of salt. I'm just going to stir that up a little bit. And I'm going to change camera angles so that you can see what happens when we add the lemon juice. I'm at 185.9, so good. I'm going to turn the heat off. I'm going, my salt is all dissolved. I'm going to add 6 tablespoons of lemon juice. And I'm just going to slowly stir it for about 2 minutes. You could also use vinegar, the same amount, or you can use citric acid and water. Any of those will work. I'm going to use lemon juice because I think it gives it a little bit better flavor. We did use citric acid at school when we do this, simply because I had it. So watch what happens. I'm going to add the lemon juice. And almost immediately, those proteins start denaturing and seize up. And you can just see them. Can you see how it's starting to form? I'm going to go ahead and turn it off now. Just want to gently stir it so that all that lemon juice gets incorporated. And like I said, I'm going to stir it for about 2 minutes. You can see I've got some nice curds going. I did add 1 more tablespoon of vinegar. I just felt like we weren't getting enough curd action going, and it did help. So, the problem with using lemons, the flavor is really good, but you never know how truly acidic they are. So I just helped it along with a little bit of extra acid. All right. So now I am going to cover this and take it off heat and let it rest and sit for 20 minutes. All right, it's been 20 minutes. Let's see what we've got. We do have some curd action going and some separation. Oh yeah, can you got? So now what we're gonna do is gently strain. Now you can use cheesecloth or I have a kitchen towel, one of the old-fashioned flour sack kind of towels, and I'm just going to gently pour this in there with a ladle. So I'm just going to take this and pour it into my strainer and let this strain. We're going to let this drain. Depends on what you're doing with it, how long you need to strain this. If you're wanting to use your ricotta on something like toast and have it a little more creamy, 3 to 5 minutes draining is plenty. I need a firmer product for the recipes that I've got in mind, so we're going to let our product strain for right at 20 minutes. When I was at school, we'd actually do it overnight, and I got a really firm product that way. We're back. It did take a little longer than 20 minutes to strain the ricotta because the weave of my towel is much tighter than that of cheesecloth. But I got all of this whey that I'm going to freeze and make into stock. And look at all this beautiful ricotta. There's at least 6 cups in there. I tasted it, and I tell you what, it is so good. That lemon, this is my new favorite way. I would really highly recommend it over citric acid or vinegar simply for the flavor. It's going to add a beautiful flavor to the recipes that I'm going to cook with it. This would also be just amazing on a crostini or an English muffin. I could see putting a little bit of honey with it. It's so creamy, it's so good. And now I thought I would taste the whey. Um, this is something I've never tried before. I'm somewhat skeptical, but honestly, I was a little bit skeptical of just tasting the straight ricotta. Um, it, it's just not something that I've ever done. So I'm even going to taste this. Uh, really doesn't have a whole lot of flavor. I can't pick up any of the lemon, so I think it would be good. You could put it in your protein shake in the morning because it is, still has quite a bit of protein in it. That would be, a good thing. Like I said, I'm going to use mine for soup stock. You could also use it to cook your pasta in. So there's all kinds of uses for the whey. Stay tuned, come back. I've got a couple of recipes I'm going to make with this ricotta. If you haven't subscribed, please do. That way you'll get notifications when those recipes pop up. Cooking with Mrs. Thompson, Facebook, YouTube. Still nothing up on the other two. But please subscribe, like, share, and you guys have a great day. Thank you.